my parents moved to Seattle before I was born, and so I knew some of you growing up, but most of you I didn't. So it's wonderful to meet you. And I wanted to thank Bob Vonderlin and Nancy in Dimony. And is it, how do you pronounce your name?
We'll keep it Vonderlin.
Okay, we'll keep it Vonderlin. And
how do you spell that?
and Michael Vonderlin, who are my co-genealogists. So they have been, together we've put together all of this information. And I wanted to thank my sister Kelly and my sister Susan. And they helped a lot with the logistics, the name tags, the posters, and all that stuff. And my cousin Lauren for bringing the projector. Thank you. And then everyone who sent photos and brought photos. So thank you very much. So there are 5 generations here today, which is pretty cool. We go all the way up to 4th great-grandchildren of George. And so back in the mid-1700s, there was a man named Andreas who lived in Petersburg in the German Rhineland in what was then the Kingdom of Bavaria. And his son Johann moved to Clausen in 1784, and that's as far back as the records go that we have. And then Johann begot Johann, who begot Johann, and who's confused by that?
Is that like fall?
And then so Johann George, who was called George, is immigrated to the United States in 1852, and we are, as far as we know, of humble origins, at least going back that far, tailors and builders and folks like that. And we have almost no information about the meaning of our name, so it's anybody's guess. So George had 7 children. Anthony was number 5, and so there are a bunch of descendants of Anthony here today with the yellow tags. And then Nicholas was number 6, and we know a lot about his descendants, but none of them could make it. And Frank was number 7, the youngest, and green tags.
He was the ranty one, wasn't he?
12 children, Frank had. But sadly, yes, they were good Catholics. And sadly, only 7 survived to adulthood, and of those 7, only 4 have living descendants. So I just want to do some kind of very quick logistics. Dinner served till 7, food's out till 7. We have the room till 8. After that, we can hang out in the hotel lobby. And I'm sure you saw there's all kinds of photos around and displays. Make sure if you're here, there's a star on your name on the chart, because that'll be a record of who came tonight. Also, I have a contact sheet here, and Bob and I would like to put together kind of a directory of Vonderlins so that we can contact each other. And so please put how you would like to be contacted. You can put email, phone, mailing address, all of the above, whatever is your preference. And in some cases, I pre-printed information, so check it, make sure it's correct, cross out anything you don't want shared with everyone in this room, and also the descendants of Nicholas. They are also going to be on the list. And I want to be sure to get photos tonight. So after we're kind of done with the introductions, I want to do photo grouping. So I hope nobody has to rush off. So I would like, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Bob, but I would like each descendant of George to come to the microphone, introduce yourself, introduce your family, tell us how you're related to George, where you live, and just a little bit about yourself. So I turn it over to Bob.
Thanks, Karen. And thank you so much, Karen. Karen was the ringleader of all of this.
Yay, Karen!
as we were talking earlier, I think the genesis of all of this was a phone call from Barbara Levers to me around 1995 or so, and said, "You don't know me, but we're related. I looked you up in the phone book. You're a Vonderlin," and she gave me Jim and Kathy's information. And I wound up writing letters to them and was traveling to Seattle on business, and Jim and Kathy invited me over to have dinner with them. We had a wonderful evening, and we stayed in touch and wound up getting in touch with Karen, and that was sort of the genesis of how this all happened, and how we found out there's more Vonderlins. Nobody knew. I didn't know, and up until just recently, we're sorry.
That's right.
Karen sends me a link to a newspaper article. There's somebody, a Vonderlin, who's got a sausage store. Who is this? Do you know who this is? I said, no, I don't. And it was the most exciting thing. And to see this all come to fruition and see this happen is really exciting. And who would have imagined way back when we had dinner together that this would happen someday? And I think some of the funnier things that we've heard just tonight, and Nancy, I guess you are somehow connected to my brother's wife,
Yes.
and we're like, and the wedding you were here for was Tracy's neighbor, and I went, oh my God. So so keep talking to each other, and obviously we're not going to cover all bases here tonight, but let's keep the conversation going. Please update the contact information. Karen and I have overly ambitious plans about making a book about all this stuff and putting all the memorabilia in there, and hopefully someday that'll happen. But and the one request I have, I'll leave this document up here. It's like an outline and enumerated in genealogical type form, all the blood descendants of George and Salome, and everyone's got a unique identifier on this. Hopefully you're on this. Please add, if we've missed children or stuff like that, please add them, and please update the contact information. We would love to get all the pictures and all the stories and compile them and pass them on to our kids, I think. So it'd be really awesome if we could do that. So yeah, I'm Bob. I live in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, and I'm just thrilled to death to be here. Grew up on Long Island, grew up out here, and I'm a 5. Go 5s! All right, and I'll bring it over to you guys, because you're sort of the patriarchs of the whole thing here.
Aw.
Okay, and I want to add my thanks for coming. Wonderful, all for me. I kind of wish my brother was here, because he had a much better memory than I did of back when we were growing up. But let's see, what they want to know.
Your name and where you live.
I'm James Arthur Vonderlin. I am great-grandson of George. And Kathy and I moved out to Seattle in 1958, right after I graduated college, and she graduated college, and I went to work for the Boeing Company. She went to work for the Boeing Company, and we were out there, raised 5 children who are all but one here tonight, and all good friends, thank God. I apologize, I got lung issues and I got back issues, and I used to be a lot taller. But I worked for Boeing for 37 years, retired in '95, one of their golden handshakes, and I can't believe I've been retired 23 years or something like that. It's unbelievable how quickly it goes. But what else? My wife Kathy. Karen, what am I forgetting?
I think that's it.
Okay,
You live in Seattle, yeah.
thank you. Thanks for coming.
I gotta get my list here, because I don't wanna make sure.